Should I keep putting my foot down against my mother who wants to track my phone? By user NoPomegranate4794. I, F28, have a very overprotective mother. I also travel a lot for work. Well, my job had me coming into town so my mom could see me. I had a meeting after at the time I said I was done and texted her. She kept calling me during the whole meeting, despite me sending a message that I couldn't talk because I was in a meeting. When I'm finally done and about to call her, another coworker tells me that my mom is looking for me. She had came down to the place I was working wandering the outside looking for me. When I called her she said she was in tears and worried over me. The next day she asks if she can install an app to track my cell phone. I told her that I didn't feel comfortable with that and had hoped she would leave it, but she kept pushing it until I said no. She keeps trying to coax me into getting it, saying things like I'll use it for emergencies. I said that was a slippery slope and I know her and it's going to reach a point where just emergencies turn into full-blown tracking my every movement. She also argued that she's getting better at not being so protective because she's going to therapy, and I told her how about she asks her therapist what they think about her tracking me. At this point she keeps bringing it up and I'm growing tired. I'm wondering I should give in and put an end to harassment. But at the same time I feel like that's enabling her. I don't know what to do anymore to put an end to this. My 21F friend 19F decided to double book our kid's birthday, by user infinite_box_7429. My 21F friend 19F and I have children whom were born pretty close together. Last year they celebrated with a joint birthday party, but this year we decided to let them have their own special day. My friend, let's call her Kate, not her actual name, confirmed that her child's birthday would be on the 5th of the month and it would be a dinosaur theme. I took that into account and did a completely opposite theme for my child to ensure they could have their own birthday fun, etc. Anyways, I decided to book my child's party for the 9th of the month as it was the best for us and meant my child's friends would make it. Before I created or sent out invites I called up Kate and asked her to confirm her child's party date and double-checked that our date wasn't going to clash. This was discussed multiple times over the phone and in person. Well, I've come to find that she has changed the date to the day of my child's party, her excuse being that she wasn't aware of the date even though she has a physical invite and has seemed to be acknowledging in every conversation regarding the party. She is refusing to change the date as it is the date that works best for me and my son. I feel as though it was done on purpose and I'm upset that my child was not considered when she did this like hers was. I booked that date out first and she knew of it. I'm unable to move my child's party as we won't be around for the 10th and it is a school week. We also wanted to be able to have her actual birthday as a family day without stress of other children running around. This is the third time she's changed the date, each time it got closer to the 9th. Am I the entitled parent here? Edit. Thank you all for the advice. I will be letting her know that we can't be friends if she's continuing to be immature. A couple of pointers. Yes, I am young. No, she was not a mistake. Yes, I am perfectly capable of being a parent and still being alive and well. Not everyone is cut out for parenting from a young age, but some people manage fine. Yes, I have had the time to look after my child and make this post. Having children doesn't mean I have to be completely tied down all the time. My child naps, guys. I can find time. Normal for a parent to set a bedtime at 24 years old, by user MaxDeck. Recently my mother has been setting bed curfews for me to go to bed at 11 p.m. I thought it was because I was making noise, however I've come to realize that even if I'm not making any noise at all, watching Netflix with headphones on, not even touching my keyboard, she will come into my room and have an argument with me, saying I've woken her up. If I respond by saying I've made literally no noise, she always says, well, there's light under your door so you're still awake. However, it's not consistent. She's a light sleeper, so a cat or animal making a noise outside will wake her up, but she decides to come to my room and blame it on me. I'm not sure if this is a control thing, but I'm wondering if anyone else has had a similar experience. Should have stated this before, but I lived by myself for 3 years doing college. I've only moved back in with my mother for around 1 year now due to financial reasons, and I'm planning to move out again with friends. Also, for some added info, I do pay rent and have a part-time job. I finally told them I'm not moving out of my apartment, by user Miss Black. And it clearly did not go well. I don't know why I thought it would. I really want my family to just accept the situation, nothing more. I haven't asked for anything else. I believed that they would get used to the idea of a 26-year-old Muslim moving out and being independent. I know that by them offering to cover my rent, in an apartment of their choosing, or going to live in their apartment is another way of control, no matter how much they deny it. I came again this weekend and nothing has changed. I don't understand the necessity of having to be present for them all the time. That doesn't fix relationships. Since the beginning the word I've heard most is selfish, and when you hear it too many times, I guess you start believing it. It's like I have committed a capital sin. I didn't move out because of illegal issues, or for a man. I moved out because of me, and they find that so hard to believe, and their feelings are valid, they are, but Islam, at least not that I know of, doesn't prohibit women from living alone. I'm so tired of having conversations when it's actually them telling me their point of view and I having to understand theirs, and them feeling frustrated, but when it's the opposite, I feel like how I feel and what I want is not valid, unless they have a say in it. I have constantly said that being part of the family is sacrifice, but do I have to sacrifice me? My happiness? For everyone else? I did it for a long time, and I even considered the worst of the worst cause I felt there was no way out. But now that I'm actually being happy and I know that they can feel it, it becomes a problem. They have told me several times to give them explanations of why, and at the beginning I did, but it wasn't an answer they wanted, so I just stopped responding altogether. I'm going back to my apartment and I honestly don't know what the next steps are. I just hate that my siblings are completely against me and that my sister has to deal with my parents' tantrums. Paid a dinner full in cash. Mum was not happy, by user Kalakia Kola Bear. I haven't talked to my mother in years until recently due to my grandmother's death. During those times she had obviously gone around using my absence and me ghosting her as a sob story to get any sympathy from anyone who'd listen. Some of the relatives even believed her. Anyway, time does tell and they've grown weary of her. Hooray! She took us all to a fancy restaurant after saying goodbye to my grandma one last time. I told her I can pay for the dinner, just don't order too much. She did, as always, order way too much. She did insist that she could pay it with her credit card. Fine. Food came. People ate. Everyone was happy. Bill came too and she just fumbled around in her wallet trying to find a credit card. No one offered to pay and I wasn't either, but I did anyway. In front of everyone. In cash. I didn't think so much about it, but I've always been annoyed with her hanging that spending over people's heads and would always complain about credit card debts. She smiled sheepishly. An awkward gesture to avoid any weird vibes, she hurriedly gave away these foods that I paid for to people who attended the thing. Without asking me, and took the full credit for it. I didn't realize it why she became such a sourpuss until later on. She was telling people I never gave her money, I wouldn't come to send my grandma off, and that I was an asshole who would not take care of the family. I did all those during the trip and mother was not happy being wrong. Anyway, to both her and my surprise, people were happy to see me after years of no contact. Time does tell anyway, and actions do speak louder than words. Smiley face.